There's a buzz in western Ohio, and it's all emanating from one busy beekeeper and his wife.
We don't get stung very much, not near as much as people think. I mean, bees today that we got are pretty tame. Unless you just happen to squeeze one or aggravate them a little bit, you can make them mad pretty quick. But I mean, you try not to do that when you're taking care of bees.
But early on, Don was stung with a passion for these often underrated insects.
I've had bees in this woods for 45 years. I was about 10 years old. My dad got a book from the agriculture department to tell how important bees was to agriculture. And it wasn't until 1964 when I started getting more honey and stuff like that that I thought about a name for it.
And that name, Steinke's Bee World, grew into a business based on the simple syrup bees produce naturally.
Well, the honey is the nectar out of a flower. Today, we sell honey ourselves. We sell honey all over Ohio mainly. And in the United States, there's probably 300 different kinds of honey. Sometimes early in the spring, we have a basswood honey and clover mainly. I eat honey every day. Breakfast, I eat probably from 4 to about 10 tablespoons of it a day. It must be healthy. I'm 72 and I'm still working every day with my bees and stuff.
And while delicious golden honey might send you on a beeline to the nearest hive, this is one bug you shouldn't bug. Bees are also pilots of pollination.
Apple, berries, vegetables, essentially anything that's not corn or wheat responds to insect pollination. We need bees much more than they need us. I have no doubt about that. The flower to bee relationship is essentially operational without any human involvement. The flower stands there trapped on a plant and puts up its little flower petals and essentially advertises, come pollinate me, come pollinate me, and they move pollen from one blossom to the other, from one plant to the other. So out of the deal, the blossom gets pollinated, gets cross-pollinated, and the bee gets nectar and pollen as a food source. No human involvement at all. We show up and want 1,000 acres of apples. And we've upset this little relationship between bee to blossom.
4 years after the honeybee is going to be gone, the people's going to be gone because there isn't going to be enough food to eat because they pollinate so many crops.
Bees might not be on the endangered species list anytime soon, but their population is certainly in a decline.
1947, there was over 6 million beehives in the United States. Today, there's just a little over 2 million. It seemed like the bees don't make it through the winters like they used to, so our clover honey situation is going to be probably about 25% of what we usually have.
But with each busy bee dedicated to their hive, Don believes humans might learn a thing or two from these so-called pests.
I just love to come out here and watch them. Bees are very fascinating, the way they build their hives. Usually this time of the year is usually 60, 70,000 bees in a hive, so they can really do a lot of work in a short time if they got the nectar to bring in. They have scout bees that go out to these fields and find out where the nectar is, and then they come back to the hive and they tell the rest of the hive where the bee nectar is, and they can communicate better than people can. You tell a person to go someplace and they don't get there usually. I was an electrician at Ford Motor Company. I worked there for 44 and a half years, and here I am retired with all this education, and I'm just a beekeeper. So